Okay. Let me get these earplugs out. Jotz, and you're just approaching me over what?
Loitering in the public library.
Loitering in the library? How does that work?
Well, that's what their policy says.
And you're a little out of uniform. Took me by surprise.
Yeah. Well, I've introduced myself. I've identified myself to you.
Okay. Yeah, you don't need it. What's a uniform for? It's just a article of clothing, right?
Exactly, isn't it? Yeah.
You don't need a gun. You don't need.
Do you think I need one?
I wonder if you have one.
Yes, I do.
Okay. It's concealed. I don't see it.
Is it something you need to know?
Well, yeah. I mean, do you have handcuffs? Am I going to get arrested? Could I get arrested? I mean,
if I place you under arrest, you could be arrested. Yes. But
you're acting under color of law right now, right?
color of authority.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's tools that go along with it.
Correct. Those are standard tools, but I don't need to avail myself of those tools if I don't feel I need to.
And you're under the clock.
I'm having a casual conversation.
This isn't casual.
It's not.
No, I think we're probably pushing the issue into legal territory.
Do you believe so?
Yeah, I believe. I mean, I don't understand why else you'd be coming to me over loitering. That's a legal issue.
Yes.
So this isn't casual when you accuse me of loitering. So, what's the charge? Loitering, and then is there a description? What the librarian said. What did she tell you?
Well, she just gave me their policies for
Okay.
patrons, so that's why I'm.
And you wanna kick me out?
No, I'm not here to kick you out. I'm just here to make sure everything's okay because she has concerns. That's all. And I thought maybe we could address them together as men and not,
as men. Okay. Well, I could be a.
I thought maybe we could address them together as men
And
not
as men. Okay. Well, I could be a woman these days. Who knows?
Okay. As two adults, is it fair to say that?
At what stage of our adulthood? There's various stages.
We can go through nuances.
I mean, you look a little older than me. So.
Perhaps, I don't know. I don't know how old you are.
I'm curious. Were you elected as chief?
No, it's
okay. There's an appointment. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. This. I mean, I'm using the library.
And I appreciate
I was
that.
watching.
I'm not here to harass you. I'm just here to. She had a concern. I thought I'd come and speak to you. And
okay. What's the concern? We have loitering. Is there a more specific?
Well, according to their policies and procedures, it's not. But there's also a refusal to identify yourself when you want to get on the Wi-Fi.
And see, the thing is.
And I understand that it's your privacy and stuff, but they have policies and procedures that they have to follow too. So.
Okay. And
and that became an issue. So.
Yeah. That's over using the Wi-Fi. Mm-hmm. If I just came and just started reading books and that's it. This ID thing wouldn't even have come up, okay?
Yes.
So
exactly.
It's a matter of I was asking about the internet and ID thing came up. I'm like I decline. That's it. Mm-hmm. If I came in to read it'd be as similar to just coming in to read a book.
It is.
So I mean I don't see the issue.
I agree with you 100%.
Okay, I don't see the issue.
I'm just letting you know that you've created a situation where they're not comfortable. It's not your responsibility to make them comfortable. I agree with that. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, and I'll tell you that there's First Amendment rights.
Yes, sir.
And during protests, when somebody tries to address the government with reprieve the government, and it makes
redress of grievances, yes.
Or address the grievances, and it makes the government uncomfortable.
That's what it's for.
Sometimes exactly that can lead to positive change.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
So it's a protected right.
Yes,
and they wanted to contact you, and well, I mean, I appreciate.
And I thought I came up pretty casual. I didn't come up, in full uniform and stuff,
I mean, you're a big guy too. I can't ignore that.
Well, I was coming up. I was coming up just to talk. I wasn't trying to intimidate you in any way. I thought I came up and introduced myself. And
I walked by the gym. Did you go to that gym over? I walked by the gym down that way. Yes. How's it? How you like that?
It's good. That's where I was at my lunch hour, so that's it. But I got called to come over here.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. I travel. I don't really I don't really go to gyms. It's been a long time. Yeah. I was addicted for a while.
Doesn't it become that way?
Yeah,
you get the endorphin dump, from working out and stuff.
It feels good.
Feels really good.
Yeah, I really but traveling, it's just been so difficult to look for places outside to do it, and it doesn't quite meet my needs as a gym has in the past. But,
are you originally from Missouri or?
Nope, no, I passed through.
Okay.
All right, yeah, I come down south on the west side, and then now I'm coming up north on the east side. I've checked out a lot of different libraries, and yeah, just like
I love reading like yourself. You know, I'm a book enthusiast. So.
Well, I visit a lot of libraries, but I'll be honest, I don't really. I mean, I like looking at books. I don't really open them up that much.
You like reading on the pad?
I usually come for the internet, what we had the discussion over, and you probably weren't really kept up on what our discussion was exactly.
No, sir.
But it's like I told on the phone, I told the library director who's in Dallas.
Houston.
Houston, yeah. This is Dallas County.
This is Texas County. Houston is just 25 miles north.
Okay, yeah, Houston. Okay, yeah. I've been to a lot of libraries, and I use the internet, and about maybe half request a password, or will have a password on them, and all you gotta do is ask. Some will have it posted on the front door even. Just the password's there, so I just type it in, and that's it. It's very rare for them to ask for ID at the library.
Yeah,
so
I'm not familiar with that.
So
I know that like the barber shop over there, or it's a beauty shop over there, and also the gas station Sinclair over here, they have Wi-Fi that's available.
I'll check that out.
You can just hook up to it, just because people park there all the time just to get it.
Yeah, because I don't think I want to sleep the night here, but I was thinking if I was just going to continue to relax, I might end up staying. How's the law for?
We have you can't sleep on the square, but there's a park. There's a park just down the street down here.
Down the street.
You go take 106 all the way to 17.
It's a ways down.
Oh no.
Okay.
Have you been to the gas station right here?
I'll have to look.
Well, Sinclair is just. I mean, the square is right here. Sinclair is the next gas station.
Okay.
106 just ends at 17. Just cross over 17. And there's a park with a pond and bathrooms and a gazebo.
And that's a place.
You can camp overnight there.
Okay.
No
yeah, I'm kind of interested.
Yeah.
I'm a bum and I'm a slow mover.
You're a bum.
So I don't really do much. I mean, you should see my car looks like a trash heap. I mean.
But you have a bicycle. Is that the one with the bicycle?
Yeah, I have a bike. That's my car. Yeah.
I saw somebody who looked like they were camping or something. That's
yeah. So yeah, I was thinking about that because I mean, yeah, I stayed at a Walmart last night in what's the name of that city? It's not West Plains. It's the next one, not too far. It's only like 10-15 miles from here, from the southern
Mountain View.
Mountain View, yes.
Yeah, it's just 13 miles south of us. Yeah.
I had a cop talk with me last night. I posted that on the YouTube. Officer Gordon, is that a familiar name?
I know him.
Yeah, he's a real level-headed, solid guy.
Have you had some officers that weren't?
Well, yes, I certainly have. Yes, yeah. I've had about over 100 interactions, and I've recorded them. And
I saw you had cameras.
And it's a small percentage that'll just bum rush and arrest me over similar situations like this. ID, and then they'll add on disorderly conduct or something. But it's a small percentage. So about over 100. It's been about 5 times I've actually had to go through a court process on very similar circumstances.
Here in the state of Missouri?
It's Missouri. It's happened. I did get arrested in Bethany, Missouri. You know Bethany?
No, I'm not familiar.
Okay, yeah, it's a small town. I've had interactions in St. Joseph, and then the cop talk last night with Officer Gordon, and then a previous in West Plains. I think I talked to a cop. No, actually. Oh, it was a few times in Missouri, but I did get arrested once, and I learned that you guys have a 24-hour hold. You could arrest me for an investigation. It's a low standard for an arrest. You're curious about something.
You have to file a probable cause within 24 hours here at least.
Yeah, and you just hold them. So I sat in the Bethany jail for 24 hours. and then they were going to continue with a charge, but then the prosecutor dropped it in 1.5 days. Fastest drop I've ever seen. Yeah, it varies. I mean, it depends on your guys' relationship with your court system, who's the city judge. I don't know. There's a lot of factors, and the worst so far for me has been in Louisiana. I don't know if you ever heard their reputation.
I've never been to Louisiana, so I don't know.
Okay.
I know where it is, but
they got a low standard for arrests. And for disorderly conduct, they actually have failure to ID written into the disorderly conduct, and I know Missouri doesn't. For the
really, you can be arrested for failure to ID.
Yeah,
even without reasonable suspicion.
They need reasonable suspicion, but they didn't. And I have a lawyer we're going through an appeal process on this. Because I was found guilty and sentenced to 30 days in jail over failure to ID.
30 days.
Yeah, I sat for over 20. Yeah, until I got the appeal bail. There's an appeal bail. I shouldn't have spent a single day in jail. I got out early, but my helpers on YouTube.
What did they suspect you of doing?
I walked into the library. Yeah, similar circumstances. This was an old bank too, just to give you like a
visual.
Yeah, visual, because the librarian said I was acting weird, and then
that's kind of subjective.
Yeah, and then the dispatch turned that into casing the place, and I said, I don't know. I think it's maybe because it was an old bank, but it was casing the place, walking around, checking the door handles, trying to go up to the 3rd floor. I looked angry. Oh, they compared me to the Boston bomber. I had 2 big bags, and I was banging. There was all this circumstantial stuff. There's no evidence. It's a he said, she said, and that's what the prosecutor. Because I did pro se defending myself in trial. It lasted for 8 hours. And
trial lasted 8 hours.
Yeah, in the city courts, and I was eventually found guilty. But they focused on everything that happened off camera, because everything on camera was, I don't know. The judge asked who records in a library and who asks cops for their names. There's a lot of this is stuff that my lawyer is gonna help appeal for me, but it's not appeal. It's the standards are so different in Louisiana. You can't. It's a writ. I don't know if you're familiar with writs. But that's like I think a lesser form of an appeal.
Yeah, well, it's a piece of paper basically, but it just.
Yeah,
it's to bring. It's a legal form.
It's to bring it back. It's to get the case to the 3rd Circuit of Appeals court, and have them evaluate the judge's decisions. I think, and decide if he did the right thing. I think so. I'm fighting that, because the previous 4 times I got arrested and charged, they were dismissed. In other states, in Idaho and Colorado, North Dakota.
You've traveled all over.
I've been traveling, yeah. The whole west half of the country, I've been up and down it. I know the features pretty good.
So you started like in California and worked your
Yeah, yeah. I went to Washington and then came down and up and down. And
did you have any negative contacts in California?
Yep. Yeah, somewhat, but no arrests. Yeah. I've spent a lot of time at libraries, in libraries, and yeah, there was one time they needed my ID because I was standing outside the library using the Wi-Fi. So that's happened a few times in other states too. It looks suspicious. It's at night I'm using the Wi-Fi, and cops just happen to roll up and then they want to find out what the deal is. I don't know how the crime is here. But that's what they do. In front of a closed business, you see a vehicle, somebody sitting inside. You go up and make contact, but it's got to be consensual. At any time you can say, "I'm not talking to the officer." Yeah, there's
your window.
There's Terry.
Unless I have more.
There's the Terry stop you guys have to follow.
Ohio, yes.
And there's the circumstance. There's the totality of the circumstances.
Right. Yeah.
And you consider how's the crime in the area.
Exactly.
What's your experience?
Exactly.
they factor in all of these
Excellent.
these things.
I appreciate that you know these things, because
Why?
so many people do not.
Yeah.
I wish more people would know their rights, because we have a place just outside of town here. I don't know if you've seen it. When you're coming, have you gone out east of town here yet?
No, I came in and stopped.
Out here, just east of town, there's a place that's been logged off. It's a pretty big area, and people are setting up homesteads out there.
Okay.
And a lot of them are, they just want to be left alone. They just want to, have their place and be left alone. And
Okay.
so, and a lot of those people know their rights, and I appreciate that, because so many people do not.
Okay.
And I try to be, I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
I was a cop in Los Angeles. I retired, came here, and this is my Mayberry. It's quiet.
Okay.
And stuff.
Yeah. A lot of cops should have this like a transfer. How do you say it? Like small town cops should work a few weeks in a big city, just like have that kind of that.
And it's good to go the other way. It's good to come from a big city.
And back and forth.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So because
So remember because in a big city, you don't see the same people over and over again. But here, everybody knows me. Hey Kev, hey Chief, whatever they call me. And I know them. And it's a great relationship. It helps maintain the peace, because we know each other, and they tell me things, and I can tell them, and it works out it's so much better than a big city.
Yeah.
Big cities, there's so many people, you can't have that really. So.
Yeah, Los Angeles. Yeah, they got bums. You got a lot of homeless people laying around. That's and the drug addicts. This is an older city, or this town has an older group, older citizens.
Yes,
and
quite a bit.
Yeah, you're dealing with different circumstances there. That's great that you get experience in other cities. Like in the military, you're kind of forced to. You can't only stay like 3 years or something and move on to the next base. Right. And as a cop, you could potentially stay all your life in one
place.
Yeah,
and a lot of cops do.
Yeah, and have be stuck in kind of that box mentality. So.
Were you in the military too?
Yep, I was in the military. Yeah, 2, did you say?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Also, yeah.
You were in the military? Okay. Yeah, I was in the Air Force.
Oh yeah, so was I.
Yep, a cop in the Air Force too. You were security forces.
I was law enforcement. I was a bomb dog handler.
You had dogs. Okay, and it was bomb specific. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I was like stationed in Barksdale Air Force Base, just 500 miles south of here now.
Okay.
But,
I was stationed in. I spent 3 years in Han, Germany, and then my last stint was in Scott Air Force Base, Illinois.
Yeah, you get a wife in Germany or?
No.
No. Okay,
no.
Man, that sounds. I wish I could have spent time there.
It was nice.
Yeah, I've heard good stories for Germany. I was mostly in like Asia, like in Okinawa.
I never been.
And then as a cop, we get to like do tours, like travel. We had more like options to do short tours.
Yeah, TDY stuff.
TDY, that type of stuff. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I was only in like 5 years, so.
I just did my 4 and got out.
So. Oh, you were a short term. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's all right. Well, we have something in common there.
Yeah.
Pretty close. But I mean, me, it was between 95 and 99. You look like.
Yeah.
You might have. Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, a different time, different weapons, possibly.
I started in '85. So.
85. Okay. I don't know. There were probably some similarities and stuff.
Well, at least when I got in, shortly after I got in, we just got the Humvees.
Got the Humvees? Okay,
yes.
Yeah, we were driving Humvees.
Yeah, we had just got them.
Driving them through this.
That was a big deal. We got Humvees. I didn't even know what they were when they told us about them. I was like, what?
Yeah, it was kind of all right.
We had just have the old Jeeps and stuff. So.
The old Jeep, yeah, those didn't have even the Humvees didn't have very good suspension.
Oh my gosh, and the seats in there, I don't know what the seats like were you were in, but they were just like these steel rails.
Yeah.
A few pieces of cloth across them, like a basket weave. It was so uncomfortable.
Yeah, and I was able. I drove those. This one of the organizations I was able to drive a lot of different types of different vehicles.
I think my phone's going.
The
city's gave me this new phone.
Destination is on your right.
No, I guess I'm trying to go somewhere. I didn't even know that. The city got me this new phone, and I really don't know how to use it.
Yeah.
I've had a BlackBerry before this, and then they gave me this thing.
You're not saying that's not issued by the police department?
Yes.
It is. Oh,
Yeah,
I was just talking with Officer Gordon about how he said that they don't issue you phones, and that you're encouraged to use your own phone.
Really?
And that they cannot be searched. There's a law that protects you from having your phone searched.
This is a city phone, so anybody can look at whatever I do on this phone. So.
And
I have no problem. I don't care.
He was saying he took a picture of my driver's license on his phone, and he's saying that there's a law that I said that could be searched. I could not deposition. The other sequester.
What could be subpoenaed?
Subpoena. I told him I could subpoena that phone, and he's like, nope, there's a law that protects me against that.
Perhaps there's. I'm not familiar with it. I didn't know that.
That's something new.
Well, I have my own personal phone, but this is the one the city gives me, so I carry two.
Well, yeah, and
I don't know why that even went on like that. That was weird.
In his city, they encourage them to use their own phones, and they don't issue. But you were a chief. Maybe your patrol officers don't get.
Well, there's only 3 of us. So. Small town.
Oh, all right, yeah.
And everybody's got their phones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But because we're so small, we get called back. I go home and I get called back in. So that's why they do that.
And that's.
And people call me off duty all the time. Hey, what about this? What about this? I shouldn't say all the time, but quite often.
Yeah, you'll get your various calls. Well, he said that the meth is kind of bad in his town. Have you noticed any problems here? Is that something that needs to be addressed?
There's problems everywhere. It's
okay.
Not,
it's not as.
Because
I'm not really seeing.
We don't have the people wandering the streets.
I don't get that feeling like there's any serious
hand deals or meth locations where people are hitting town, but.
Yeah, if they would drive through, they're more likely to drive through than stop here and do any deals or.
There's really not much around here. We got a grocery store, a Dollar General, and a couple of gas stations, and a couple restaurants.
Yeah, and I've looked inside now the grist mill, the old flour mill.
Did you go over there?
I don't know if you've gotten a tour of that.
I've seen it once in my time here.
You've been inside?
It's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Yes.
The machines in there are amazing, and they tell me they still work.
They could work if they had maybe possibly a generator attached. It'd be a little work that needed to be done, but yeah, if it was needed. And I was just told that then there's Amish.
Oh, yeah.
An Amish man came and offered to buy some or something. Offered to buy one.
Really?
Kind of before I stopped.
Okay.
Maybe a couple of weeks ago, an Amish was interested in purchasing one for their wheat field.
Mm-hmm.
So you have an Amish community. You said that there's. I want to describe them as they're not squatters. You said
the homesteaders.
The homesteaders. Yeah. They're not, but they're not Amish, right?
No, the Amish are north of us.
They're
Hartsville. And we have there's Mennonite groups, and then the Amish. You'll see them in their horse and buggy all over.
Yeah, they're like homesteaders are almost like Amish, but they don't have the religion, but they'll still use electricity and stuff, I suppose, right?
But they're mostly just independent people that are just trying to start out and stuff. Most of them are young families out there that are just trying to find a place to start their own home.
Homesteaders are not sovereign citizens.
No, there's a big difference.
Yeah,
I've had a contact with a couple.
Okay. In your experience, you're familiar with that approach to.
And as soon as it's pretty easy to identify them because for me it's been so far as I'll walk up and I say, why I stopped you? You say driving. He said, well, they always say I'm not driving, I'm traveling.
Yes.
I'm not a driver.
Okay.
And right away I know where it's going.
Yeah.
And then I appreciate their their view of things. I really do. I believe in as much freedom as possible.
Oh, it closes at 6. Okay, it's 5 now.
Oh, you got time.
Yeah.
Do you want me to leave you alone?
No, well, I was confirming that it's 6 on Tuesday and then
Tuesdays.
5 the rest of the nights. Yeah. So, well, I mean, we probably established that this
I'm comfortable.
that I'm not going to escalate anything. So
I don't believe that.
I don't want to be a threat. I just want to this is towards the end of the day.
I appreciate you speaking with me. I really do, because as you know, you didn't have to. You could say, I don't talk to police. That'd be fine.
I don't talk to police. Yeah,
And
I've heard that.
That'd be fine. I would
Yeah.
understand.
Well,
I would understand that.
No, I want to learn what what you have to say, and
I thank you for your time.
there's a reason that cops usually approach me. So yeah, it's a learning experience for me. Yeah, there's people that do shut down, and it's unfortunate because I think they miss out on a nice exchange.
Exactly, because you never know who you're going to meet.
Yeah.
Not everybody's out to.
But this did start out, on a legal basis. I could ask, am I being detained? And
right. And I would tell you right away, no.
Yeah. It's just it didn't feel consensual, but I mean, it wasn't also. It wasn't a detainment. I could walk away at any time. So yeah,
and perhaps I should have made that more clear.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have expressed it.
When you come up and say it's a loitering issue, that's.
Well, I introduced myself first.
Well, you have. I mean, that's good. Yeah. When you want to present authority, you also want to. I have responsibility about yourself as who you are. Who's the person showing authority?
Right. But I don't want you to think I'm just some random person coming up and just
like her husband,
right, yeah,
making this a personal thing or
perhaps
something.
Right.
So. Those are scary situations. Yeah. And I'm sure you've had those domestic issues, and man, child over child care or.
Those are the worst. Anything to do with children is terrible.
Yeah, I've just there's the stories I watch on YouTube and all that. Just families just having difficulties over their children. It's just there's murders. There's all these it gets the worst. It's murders. So it's and then it happens and.
Any human interaction seems to be complex
and yeah,
it's difficult sometimes.
And I never had a child myself, so it's I could try to empathize, but it's I don't quite understand the emotions that are really.
It goes along once you have a child.
Yeah.
I didn't even get married till I was 36.
36. Okay.
I didn't have my first child till I was 37.
Yeah.
Your whole perspective of life changes, and you find a whole new meaning in life too.
Yeah.
You say, the more responsibility you take on, the more meaning you find in life, because now it's not just you, you're taking care of others, and it really makes a difference.
Yeah,
for me it did.
Yeah, that's the thing. I could try to imagine what that's like, but whatever. I'm older now. It was something I felt I needed to do, but now it's whatever. It's just kind of.
You live the life you want. That's what's great about this country.
Yeah, I probably would have ended up having court issues over child payments because I'm a poor person. Like I said, I'm a bum. I'm not. I don't have a lot of money, so I can barely pay for myself, let alone taking care of kids.
Gosh, now gas is so expensive. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a concern too.
When you started your truck, it was probably $2 a gallon. Now it's $4 a gallon.
Well, yeah, it was before Trump, so it was up a bit. So I was on the Oregon coast. Yeah, it was $4 roughly, and then it came down a little bit, and then
now it's back up.
Now it's
crazy.
And then this car can get pretty good gas mileage. It's this gas thing is slowing down my savings towards a bigger vehicle. I'm not in a rush.
You need a motorhome, that's what you need.
I could really use it because, man, I'm cramped.
It's too big to be in that car.
And my size too, I'm not getting the exercise I need. You probably are. You're probably satisfied with your exercise. I'm not happy with my.
Well, come on. If you exercised before, I should have done more. I wish I would have done more.
yeah. I always say that. Yeah, I wish I would have done more. And this comes from I had a standard of weightlifting every day. I would just whatever, and get to that point of total fatigue. I would exercise to the point. I don't know if you ever smell ammonia in your nose. That's overdoing it.
I'd say so.
If you smell ammonia, because that's overtraining.
I've never gotten to that point.
Yeah.
I like it, but you must love it.
Yeah, I like torture. My torturing myself. I'm hard on myself, and I like doing that physically. And when I was in the gym and stuff, And yeah, like people tell me I make life harder on myself, but I mean, in a lot of ways, I enjoy that.
You can work out here. I think it's $8 to work out.
$8, yeah. See, I don't know. They have a shower too.
No, just bathrooms, no shower.
It's one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a very big
yeah.
job.
Yeah, I just you know, I'm starting to make a little bit more money. I just $8, yeah. If I can just, you know, if I can just get more cop interactions. That people love watching cop interactions on YouTube, and that gets me. That makes me.
People love watching cop interactions.
Yeah, like I've gotten thousands. That was in West Plains. I got accused of staring at somebody. The cops were called because I was staring at somebody in a park, and the cop came, officer, I forget his name. He said I was staring at somebody and making them feel uncomfortable. So he says, even though there's no crime, I still have to identify you. So we had this interaction. It lasted about 4 minutes, and I used 3 cameras, and there's software I can use to switch between cameras during the interaction.
Interesting.
Once I align the voices, the sound for all the cameras, then I can just cut to a different scene and stuff.
So as you're talking, the camera goes on you. As I'm talking,
it could do that. I do it kind of randomly, actually. But yeah.
How'd you learn to do that?
Cops have trained me.
Really?
Because I've been getting stopped so many times, and I get arrested sometimes, and it's not a full arrest. Sometimes it's just a detainment. They say I'm going to put you in handcuffs, but you're not under arrest. And so I have to set my phone down.
Well, if you're not free to go, then you're under arrest.
Yeah, that is an arrest. Yeah.
And technically, even a traffic stop's an arrest. And I told you, technically, a traffic stop is an arrest because you're not free to go.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, when you're not free to go, but I have to set my phone down, so that loses footage for me. So I usually
But I don't understand, how do people pay you to see
it's through advertising. It's on YouTube. You just, I don't know, people like watching cop interactions. And advertisers have no problem advertising their product on my videos.
So you have like a YouTube page?
Yeah.
What's your page called?
Well, it's called Let's Exchange IDs with Travis.
Oh, really?
So yeah, that's I dedicated. I have Travel Channel, and I was putting cop stuff on that early on in 2015, but people just kept like really showing a lot more interest in the cop videos of me just sitting in my car and a cop stopping at my car asking, you know, if I'm okay, but let me see your ID. And that got more interest, so I separated that into its own channel, a legal channel. And there's people who
it's called the same thing, Let's Exchange IDs.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the cop channel. Is Let's Exchange IDs with Travis, because that's what people like.
I like that.
I have offered to exchange IDs, and in fact, Officer Gordon exchanged IDs with me. He wanted to see my ID, so I'm like, okay, I'll exchange IDs with you. And so he actually showed me his, and I said, I'm going to record it too. And he said, okay, it's public information anyway.
That's right.
So I made sure to black it out for the video, because I posted it last night. YouTube has standards. YouTube has it like almost its own cops. It's cops its own channel in a way. So they would have probably pulled that video if I left his driver's license information on the video, because you can read it. You can
see his home address and everything.
Yeah, his home address. Yeah, I have that, but I made sure to black that out. So that was.
He just didn't show you his police ID.
And there are police IDs. Yeah, I've seen a couple of them.
Yeah.
You have yours.
Yeah, I would show you my police ID. I wouldn't give you access to my home address. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he maybe just didn't have it readily available.
No, I'm not questioning him. Whatever his preferences, that's fine.
Yeah, I have.
That's interesting. I didn't know you could do that.
Do the YouTube thing?
I know what YouTube is.
Are you familiar with First Amendment auditing? You ever hear of that? Okay. You're definitely not in that. You're entertained by other things.
I read.
Yeah.
I like books. Like you.
I sometimes. I almost.
like reading books.
Yeah. Well, in jail for 20-some days, I almost completed reading a book, a thick book from George R.R. Martin, whatever his Game of Thrones. I almost
Oh,
was reading I was reading that in jail. Yeah, but yeah, you're not familiar with First Amendment auditing, okay?
is that something I should be looking at?
Like, what's that?
Is that something I should look at that's interesting?
As a policeman, it's a fast emerging movement. I'd call it a movement, because there's levels. There's different levels of this First Amendment activity.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's some guys that say at the most extreme might seem like they're actually provoking cops to get a reaction that they can post on YouTube. Because I say bad cops are great for YouTube, but I mean there's just there's that element. It's frowned on by some people, and other people encourage it because no matter what a cop does, they hate cops. There's some people that just, no matter what a cop does, but then there's also these groups, no matter what a cop does, they'll still love cops. There's the extreme groups.
That's true.
And I'm kind of pulling an interest from an extreme group of I think kind of a lot of people who don't like cops. I think, but it
sounds like it might be a training tool how to help people tell people how to interact with cops and maintain their rights at the same time.
Yep. Yeah,
I have to look it up now.
I have a lot of.
To look up now.
Yeah, I'm
First
actually
Amendment
shocked. Your other officers might be aware of First Amendment.
They're younger, they may be. But
yeah, they should be. I mean, Officer Gordon, he's 26. He's and he seemed kind of aware. He at least was aware of the whatever they call it, not the Homesteaders.
Sovereign citizens.
The sovereign citizens, yeah. But yeah, the First Amendment movement is out of you're not familiar with it. Is more of a social media. It was like it wouldn't have started without social media, and we both in a way grew up before social media.
But what's the goal? I'm trying to understand what the goal is.
It's education.
So it's just education. Okay.
But yeah, it's called auditing. But when you think of auditors, you're thinking of somebody who inspects the pipes or the electrical.
Or looks at numbers in a book.
And in my opinion, I'm giving you my opinion. I don't know the exact the origins, but it's like I think I heard about PNAC before First Amendment auditing, and PNAC is photography is not a crime, but I think that started in Europe because we didn't need to rely on PNAC because we got our First Amendment rights. So to Trump to praise PNAC in America that just didn't make sense. So I think we moved to First Amendment auditing because I was hearing about PNAC in 2016. And then, later, the First Amendment auditing might have been 2017 or so, maybe in 2016 a little bit, but it's gotten more popular, and more people are involved with this. It's showing people don't be afraid to record cops. It's good, and then you learn there's become a standard. The standard's developing on how to interact with cops. Am I being detained?
Right.
What crime do you suspect me of committing, or have committed, are committing, or about to commit?
Or possibly may commit, right?
Yeah, there's a standard within this community, within the viewers. They're learning.
And that's and I believe things like that should be taught to kids in school. You should know, you should know your rights before you put out here.
Were you taught civics in school yourself, or? That was kind of pulled in like the 60s or something.
Yeah, I did. I graduated in '82, so we didn't have that kind of stuff. We had social
you did?
studies.
Yeah.
We had social studies, but we didn't talk about your rights at all.
They spent more time teaching us how to protect yourself from a nuclear attack.
Remember that?
Sit in the corner of the hallway with your hands over your head.
We didn't do that in our school, but they talked about it.
Yeah. What things to be scared of instead of things to empower us.
Yes.
They taught us what to be more scared of.
It's easier to control people when they're frightened.
Yeah. And I'm learning as well as I guess I'm kind of teaching in a way too, because people have told me they're learning from my videos. But I read the comments and I listen to suggestions. There's nothing there. and I only listen to things that look reasonable to me. And what has emerged for me was being willing to exchange ideas on a fair level, I sort of I want to not interview, I guess, just like the detective or interview, whatever, it's learn from what your perspective is. And there's some people that have shut down, like we mentioned before. I don't know, but yeah, First Amendment auditing. It's a movement. I guess it's not that big. So if you haven't heard of it, that's interesting to me.
Travis, if you're judging the size of the movements by what I know, then
okay, well,
it's not good, because I really don't watch TV. And
okay,
I'm
yeah.
a TV person. So.
You're not affected by the outside world.
No, I am. I am.
All right.
I am affected by the outside world, but my kids watch TV and stuff like that.
Because you're not. This isn't an island. This
No.
isn't like Hawaii, and you can't wonder like, how did this guy get here? It's easy to pull up into the town from anywhere.
Of course.
So this isn't. But not a lot of people come out here either. So there's that.
I just don't have much interest in video games. I don't have much interest in being on a computer. I think they're a great tool, and I do use it, but I just don't have much interest in it.
All right. Well, it may never.
But I will. I'm gonna go look at Let's Exchange IDs with Travis.
First, you could look at that. Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, and the First Amendment auditing stuff. Yeah, there's. Have you watch YouTube every so often, or not really at all?
If like one of my kids tells me something, I'll watch something with them. But.
Yeah, it's become like just a primary source of entertainment for me. I pay the $15 or $12 a month to not have ads on my for my YouTube. It's YouTube Premium. Some people are willing to just watch the ads, but I'll pay the monthly fee. I use YouTube so much that I'm willing to pay that monthly fee. Then I could download videos and watch them in my car, because I have a hotspot. You know what a hotspot is?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
My daughters use those.
Okay, I don't get any reception here, so that's an issue. This is kind of why I came into the library to try to use some Wi-Fi here.
Well, I would try either over at the store over here, or I know Stop and Spot, the Sinclair station down there has one.
Okay.
People are always parked on their machines.
All right, yeah, I want to check that out. Yeah, try to get some internet, or I might just take off. I'm not.
Don't leave because our talk.
Because of this, no, it's just I don't know. It depends on how it feels.
It's a nice town, and we got a good restaurant over here at Wortley's, and we got a good restaurant down there.
Yeah, see, I don't do rest. Yeah, I cook. I cook in my car. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, there's grills and stuff down at the park down here.
At that park? Okay. Yeah, I'll look at the map, see what I see and decide. But yeah, what time is it? It's 5:20. Okay. So I mean, So how much do you lift?
I don't go heavy anymore.
Yeah.
I'm too old, Travis. Kills me.
Yeah.
I just do it to stay in shape.
What do you do a lot of you probably do deadlifts, right?
I can't do deadlifts. When I was a motor cop in LA, I broke my back and stuff. So I got a back fusion, and I got a.
Does it hurt to sit right like?
Well, I have a.
Or does it hurt more to stand?
I have an internal TENS unit that runs all the time. You know what that is?
Is that electrical signals or something?
Yeah, I have a battery under my skin back here.
Okay.
It runs wires at my spine.
Under your skin.
Yeah, and it runs wires at my spine. It constantly sends stimulation to my. So if I didn't have that on right now, I can turn it off if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I have a control in my car.
Your nerves.
And then sitting here I'd be really uncomfortable.
Have you ever looked into magnet therapy? Have you ever heard of that?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I use magnet therapy sometimes myself, because when I get pains, I use a magnet, and sometimes that pain goes away with a magnet.
Really?
So, but if it doesn't, then I know it's an infection, because magnets are focused on the nerves, kind of like the electrical signal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're using the electrical.
It's been a lifesaver for me, because after my back injury, I couldn't do anything for a long time.
Yeah.
And then they put this TENS unit in me. In fact, they just replaced the battery about a month ago. So.
Inside your body, it's just and that was on duty too?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then that's a benefit for you. But
I'd rather not have that happen.
Yeah. And that was in Los Angeles?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there's so much. There's like 10 lanes of traffic going one way and on some roads, and
it's incredible.
Yeah, you have to deal with a lot.
So busy.
Yeah. How many years did you spend in Los Angeles?
15.
15. So you were, I mean, have you met any stars, or you?
Well, when I was working, I met,
you have
quite a few. But
Yeah, you have a lot of experience with the glamour, the excitement.
yeah.
So
One of the interesting ones, I had
the Hollywood.
I used to run radar. I was a motor cop. I was running radar on Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah.
And I found this place to run radar, and it was a little turnoff in this driveway, so I was just running radar there, and it turned out to be Arnold Schwarzenegger's house, and he came out. He came out twice. How you doing, officer? I was like, hello.
Yeah.
I didn't get all like, I was like, how you doing, sir?
Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of familiar. I was all around Los Angeles. I parked where all the theaters are. There's like a city where all the theaters pretty much up on the top of the mountains, north of the mountains. Burbank. There's a Walmart there that was really nice. I even slept overnight in that Walmart parking lot in Burbank, and then I bicycled south into all the way to the Hollywood Walk of Fame area, and then kind of towards the coast. I did a big bicycle ride. Just took a day. Yeah, through them over the mountains, and I saw all the nice houses and cars.
Up on Mulholland Drive and stuff.
Yeah. It was a nice experience, but I only wanted a bicycle. I just wanted to have a good, safe place to park, because I knew parking would be awful.
Oh
yeah. So I just I tried. And Burbank was kind of an outside area.
Yeah, it's just outside, it's like its own little city outside the city.
Yeah, and then checked it all out. I even watched a homeless guy getting arrested around the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Did you put it on your YouTube channel?
Man, that's the thing. I'm not comfortable. There's guys that can walk up to a scene and just sit there and record and kind of push the limits of a cop's comfort zone, and then these guys will argue about with the cops about
as long as you're not interfering and you stay 15, 20 feet back, you should be all right.
There's some cops that are more. There's a sensitivity issue. Some cops are like, you got to be practically non-existent to them, otherwise you're interfering with their scene. And I try not to.
The stress level in a big city like that's a lot higher though, because you don't know who's watching you, and not that because you're doing something wrong, but because you're worried about what might happen.
And were you there during LA riots and stuff, or?
Yes.
And then
I started in 1989, so before the Rodney King riots and stuff.
Yeah, and
the Northridge earthquakes and the fires and all that stuff.
The earthquake, yeah, and then there was a bank robbery with guys that had guns that were
North Hollywood.
Yeah, but you're just aware of it, that you were in the area, but maybe.
I was actually heading to work on the 10 freeway when it was coming over the radio, and I could hear it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They were saying SWAT was coming in and stuff. There's no way they don't need motor cops down there. We just be in the way.
Oh, just all you could carry were pea shooters. So
these guys got AK-47, so
yeah. There's been.
It was crazy.
Yeah, the stuff that goes on there. But not really.
It's an amazing place to work. The experiences I had there, I didn't have anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like, as I'm moving east, it's laid back. I mean, I still had a lot of cop interactions in the west half of the country, but the west half is known as being more laid back, and it's the east side that you find people who are more abrasive, like New Yorkers.
Have you been up there yet?
No, I'm heading in the direction of Wisconsin right now.
Okay.
But I have potential court dates for Natchitoches, Louisiana, because I'm appealing this conviction by the city judge. Do you guys have a city judge here?
No, actually, we just closed our city court a few months ago. And
You closed your city court?
Everything's going to the county. It just wasn't financially feasible to keep our own court open. So.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Interesting. See, that would be something that would be interesting to do a public records request on, to see, you know, was there any desperation? Did they try to work a little harder to get them tickets processed? Or?
Well, it was the issue was the state was changing standards, and our court clerk couldn't keep up with everything the state wanted.
Yeah.
And they wanted to go to electronic payments and all that, and we didn't have the ability to do that, and so it
Oh.
was just easier to transfer it to the
Yeah.
Texas County.
That's what I say. I say city courts are optional, and it's like I'd like, yeah, with Natchitoches, it's like I make those arguments on the social media.
Mm-hmm.
The judge is very aware of my social media presence from my criticism, and I think that's part of the reason I actually had 30 days in jail, sentenced to that. He said that I was encouraging my followers because they were
Really?
calling in. And he said that people were getting threatened, but I wasn't given any evidence. I don't know what was being said or anything, and it wasn't me.
Right.
I wasn't making the.
How can you be responsible for what other people say?
Yes, you know exactly. Those are the words that people use on the internet too. How can you be responsible for what other people say? That's all right. Well, you practice. You're very. You talk like a First Amendment.
It may not have seen it when I first walked up here, Travis, but I truly am. And you know, I know Kathy, and I just want to make sure everything's okay.
You want everybody's rights to be
Yes,
to be respected.
I want you to feel comfortable here and utilize this facility in any way you'd like.
Yeah.
I want her to feel comfortable here. I just want to keep the peace.
Yeah.
That's all.
And I live.
And if I can make a friend, if I can make a new person, associate,
it's
or
on the road
acquaintance.
on the road friends,
Right.
I would say, because there's jail friends, you know.
Yeah, I understand.
This one inmate was like, "Yeah, we're friends, right?" And I'm like, "We're inmate friends."
Right.
You know, there's situations.
Right.
But it's I live within my constitutional boundaries, and I didn't there in all the cases where I've had cop interactions, I didn't step outside my Fourth Amendment protections, but they get stepped over. I don't know. I try to consider it like I live within this bubble of constitutional protection. And I don't step over that limit. Like my First Amendment rights, I can speak my mind, but I can't threaten other people. That's stepping over the boundaries of my First Amendment protections.
Yes.
To threaten people. So that's I try to and then I try to live within that, and I try to respect other people's rights as well. I don't feel like I stepped over anybody's rights with the ID thing and the internet thing. I just said I'll go without. You know, I've walked away from contracts before. I'll go without. I wanted to learn what the policy was, if it's actually in writing, and then I have intentions of communicating this policy with other people. Just let people know. Maybe on Google Maps, I'll put
That's fantastic.
I'll put a rating saying, hey, just so you're not surprised, because this was a surprise. There's nothing on the door to warn me. I find out the hard way by trying to get on the internet and then being asked for ID, and it's only happened a few times with some libraries, and it's interesting what the mind frame is. I heard him mention something about Patriot Act, so that's something that
It scares me.
Yeah, there was that where they could they could learn.
So they want to know what you're looking at and what books you're looking
Yeah,
at.
yeah, and some library directors.
That's not freedom.
Exactly. But some people have no problem stepping on other people's toes. There's those groups. There's the First Amendment auditors, and then there's more extreme, like we want to take everybody's rights away. It's like I want to know all your information, but these people, it's hard to describe. These people want to hide themselves. They want to know who you are and everything about you, but they'll never disclose who they are. It's the double standard type of people. I don't know.
You know, you know that the power comes from information. If they have all yours, but you don't have theirs, then they have all the power.
Yeah, and that's how it is in Natchitoches. They won't even. The cop says I don't even need to know their first name when I ask for it. Yet they could violate my Fourth Amendment rights. They could say I match the description. They got a call and I match their description, so I need to show my ID. And I have it on video, so I can describe it. But
what was the allegation?
Yeah, it was the librarian calling in saying that I was acting weird. So that got the cut, and then the dispatch said I was casing the place. A green army jacket, white guy with a green army jacket casing the place, checking all the doors to see if they're locked.
In the middle of the day.
And in the middle of the day.
In an open building.
And 12:30 in a public library. This is a public place, and then the cops show up. And you can see it. I have it as my introductory video on my YouTube, so it's easily. And I have 3 cameras. They have their body cams too, and yeah, it was a quick arrest. It was really fast. It was so dumb, and I've been fighting it for.
But as far as the arrest and how they treated you after that. Civilly? No.
Well, Louisiana has some of the highest incarceration rates in the country and in the world, apparently. And yeah, the jail was horrible. You have to wear your own shoes. They don't provide them. There was one day where at lunch it was 6 cookies and 3 slices of bologna, and then with 2 slices of white bread. That's lunch. That was one lunch, and yeah, that's. The food is cheap. I would call there were some people who had mental problems in the jail. I think schizophrenics, like guys that are talking to themselves a little bit. In this city, when I was in the city, I spent 2 months there just learning the Louisiana law, preparing for my trial. I heard gunfire in the city, like. It was almost every day. They
How big was the city?
Yeah, I think it's 17,000. I'd have to look at that again. It's a city, and there's a lot of gunfire going on. People gunshot victims too, even. But I was told that they don't just shoot random people. It's a lot of like. Revenge type of stuff. Families shooting each other, or something like that. But they're finding like AR-15s. That's kind of a popular weapon of choice over there. I talked to some inmates who were busted for carrying these weapons, and there's reports of it on Facebook. And then the gunfire too. I don't know how often did you hear gunfire in Los Angeles? Is it pretty often, or?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
spent, most of my career I spent in South Central. First part was East LA and then South Central.
Is it like a Skid Row thing, or is that the area?
Skid Row
that's
is
different?
more commonly is in Central Division. South Central is Southwest, Southeast, Harbor Division. That's where like Watts.
Yeah, I haven't. Okay, I never checked out that area. That was kind of a lower. That's kind of a lower class type of area.
Well, it's a lower income area, and there's a lot of good families down there, but there's some bad gangs down there too.
The gangs, yeah.
There's some housing projects that are fairly large down there too. So.
Yeah, and the gunfire, the problems happen at like housing projects in this city, but it's just they got a program called Crime Stoppers. And they offer up to $1,000 for tips. So there's that program, and I think that encourages people to try to make money off of that system. It's so different. It's so different from Missouri, in Louisiana.
What are the Second Amendment rights like in Missouri?
I'm
sorry, Louisiana.
In Louisiana, I never really. Yeah, I'm not aware of that. People have gotten arrested for carrying guns, and I never actually researched what their rights would be for carrying the guns. They get arrested for it.
Because here in Missouri, we're pretty liberal.
Yeah, I see. Fireworks apparently are illegal in Louisiana. So,
Fireworks are?
yeah, as far as I understand, and they sell them here.
Yes.
I wonder if people because fireworks are illegal, are they just shooting off guns as an alternative? Because people love to blow things up.
That's true.
To make those popping noises and stuff. I don't know. That's a great question. What? Okay.
Hey, Scotty. Okay. Right, he may be. Okay. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. I'm sorry, James. It was work.
We're okay.
Person trying to get a business license. The city council's having a work meeting tonight, so I wanted to find out. He said he was having trouble getting a business license. He asked me today, so
There's a city council meeting tonight?
it's a work meeting, but it's open to the public.
Still public? Okay.
Yeah. It's right over here in the corner building on the square right there. You just go. It's when you come the road on the square, the first building on the right as you come into City Hall.
I sat in a couple of city council meetings, but that's usually when I have a controversy with the legal issue. This is business. All right. Well, yeah, I suppose we've cleared up enough.
Yeah, and I appreciate you talking to me. It's interesting. I like hearing other people's perspectives.
Yeah.
It gives me something to look at with your. Let's exchange ideas.
Yeah, we don't need to. Yeah, you could just we could talk on the chat. You can leave a comment, and I try to read them all and respond to any of that.
Oh, I can leave something on your channel.
Yeah, you can even chat on
Oh, really?
On the discussion forum underneath the video. I argue with people a lot. So
Do you really?
Yeah.
About what kind of things?
Usually, if it's an argument, it's going to be with the trolls who say I should hand over my ID, but other people will jump in too. It's not just. Let's see.
If people are that eager to surrender their rights, then the next thing you know, they won't have any rights.
Yeah. It's. I wish more people would stand up for themselves, and I don't have to have these issues. And people really gave in and nakedish enough where this is one of the biggest fights I've ever had. I thought I had a problem in Williston, North Dakota over my ID. That case got dropped, but it took 11 months. And then this has been about 3 or 4 months since January 22nd is when I got arrested. So February, March, April, May, so 4 months roughly. And in city court, it's over. I was convicted, but I can still turn around and appeal. But it's a writ. And I'm still fighting. But now this has cost me. I did a GoFundMe, and I have links to that. It's at about $17,000 for this lawyer. It's all going to the lawyer. This is the most expensive fight.
How'd you find a lawyer?
I found it. I didn't find a lawyer. I was in jail. And I shouldn't have taken a step in jail because we're allowed 3 days to prepare between conviction and sentencing. We're allowed a time frame. I was instantly, after conviction on that day, just 2 seconds passed, and then I was getting sentenced. And I was supposed to, as pro se, I didn't know, but I was supposed to say, I'm going to ask for a retrial, or I'm going to appeal. I didn't say that like fast enough. The judge bull rushed into the sentencing. I think he's really angry with me. And so I instantly went to jail. And while there, my supporters were shopping around for a lawyer for me.
Oh.
Yeah, they found some guy out of Shreveport. Apparently he's a valedictorian. And he wanted a $15,000 retainer, and then there's the cost for transcripts. One supporter paid $1,500 for the trial transcripts. That 6 to 7 hour trial I had, it's cost $1,500.
Whoa.
And he paid that, and we almost have it. They're almost
Excellent.
This clerk almost is almost done with it. But yeah, it's like I couldn't do anything while in jail. They found that they got the bail for me. There's 15. I'm out on a $1,500 bond right now. I only have 4 days left of this sentence of serving and time in jail. Mm-hmm. I only got out 4 days before that was to be completed. The 30 days was to be completed, but I was like, fine, let's just get out, because I think it looks better for the appeal process anyway to have that, because if it was all completed, if I spent the 30 days in jail and paid the $411 fine, mm-hmm. then if I tried to appeal it to the Third Circuit Court of Appeals, or it's a writ, but then they say that there's no issue now. It's already completed. There's nothing to.
Yeah, the state's not pursuing you for anything any longer.
Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, it's a case closed, and we want to keep that open. So, getting out even 4 days before, even a day, whatever, keeps that option open.
Well, it shows that. That sort of Damocles hanging over your head still because of
the
state's future punishment.
And I had to get permission from the courts to leave the state of Louisiana.
Did you really?
And I got that permission. I made sure to have. I asked my lawyer to write it, to write that request, and the city judge approved it. So yeah, I'm 500 miles away from Natchitoches, and I'm keeping a close track of my distance. I'm moving north just for the weather, because it's just this time of year. I wouldn't normally be in Louisiana at this time of year.
It's hot.
Yeah.
Down there.
And I don't know when I'll get called back exactly. We might have a retrial, or it's hard to say with this post-trial activity. I don't know what to expect. It's a learning process. And I appreciate learning. I'm learning the hard way by having to, it'd be nice to watch somebody else go through this instead.
And the lessons you learn now, you're not going to forget.
Yeah.
And then you can be the teacher.
And I'm trying to communicate to everybody, and that's the vlogs on YouTube. I'm trying to present this as educational as I can, and using myself as an example. A lot of people get bored by that, so they only want to see cop interactions, but I'm like, this is a side effect of that. When you assert your rights, sometimes you got to go through the court process. It may be boring, but it's also what happens in that process.
Yeah, because you don't want to just watch the cop interactions. I'd imagine they can be heated, they can be boring, but if you don't know what the outcome is, if the cop did something that violated somebody's rights, I think I'd want to know, like reading a book. I want to get to the end and see what happens.
Yeah.
Let me know.
Some people.
Somebody disciplined? Did somebody? Did anything happen?
Yeah. Some of my supporters tell me later what types of things happen to these cops that have arrested me in the past. Like, they just one cop in the arrest in 2020 with Officer Cruz in Williston, North Dakota. He's now Deputy Cruz. He was Officer Cruz, and now he's
the sheriff's department.
He's just kind of moved over to the sheriff's department. But I mean, I have his video up on my channel, and I mean, people are aware of him. But it's not making people aware of cops, like bad behavior isn't a career killer for them. For the cops, the public will admonish that behavior. But it doesn't. It's not going to make the cop quit the field or anything.
Well, I think that,
maybe
if it's repetitive, then I think it should be. If
Okay.
it's a training issue,
Yeah.
perhaps the cop wasn't trained properly.
Could-
because
yeah.
Most,
They
most
would-
police academies aren't that long, 6, 8 months.
Yeah.
That's not very long. I mean, you have a lot to learn in that time.
Yep.
And a lot of it is, like to give you an example, when I went through, and this was back in 1989, going through the Los Angeles Police Academy, we spent more time learning Spanish than we did learning law.
Almost like border patrol, pretty much. It's
Yeah. So.
that's
Not that they didn't continue, you have to have continuing education as a police officer.
Yeah.
To keep your license as a police officer, you have to get training every year.
Mhm.
And part of that has to be the law, but perhaps there needs to be a greater emphasis on that.
Yeah, that's and some cultures like Los Angeles sees a cycle of culture coming in and leaving. It's got trends. It's like known as a trendsetter in a lot of ways. That
Yes.
sweeps the nation.
Mm-hmm.
That area. There's areas where they see more a culturalization, a sweeping changes with culture. Louisiana's stagnant. All right, it doesn't see as much change. Maybe even Missouri too, a little bit. There's like on the Texas border. There's culture coming through. Legally and illegally.
Right.
But there's some states that are just so stagnant. They don't see much traffic from other
That's
places, and they get they have this perspective. They don't. I don't know. It's hard to describe.
Well, yeah, but part of that is because of the limited economic opportunities around here.
Oh yeah, there's no draw. Yeah,
there's really nothing to draw people here.
Yeah.
So that's why we don't have so many changes.
Yeah, I'm only drawn by just coming to a new area and just looking around.
Yeah.
I'm curious. There's every so often there's some surprises. I walked around the neighborhoods a little bit, and whatever their neighborhoods. You get a little I get a little exercise in the process, and just.
Did you get any video of all our flags out there?
No, I didn't really. Yeah, that's. I mean, I've seen some places with just lots more, a lot of flags. I don't. What is it? Some kind of special event?
It's just a memorial to.
Is this year round? That's year round.
We take them down there in winter time and then put them back.
Oh, then winter time. Yeah.
But, if you look at each one of the flags is sponsored by a different.
If you get close enough, you'll
there's
see.
little plaques on each one of the flags.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, people driving by, they'll see that.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah, there's things that stand out. I guess that didn't really. It is a little unique. Yeah. You guys have that display up, and this is Veterans Park,
yes.
So it's appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah. But okay, yeah. I suppose.
I'll leave these with you. Okay?
Oh, you want to leave the policies with me? 10
Did you
minutes.
not want them?
10 minutes. No, I don't.
You're welcome to have them.
Actually, yeah, I probably should take them. I was gonna present that.
Yeah, you said you
I
wanted to
should.
put it on Google or something.
Yeah, I didn't get the exact wording. I wanted to do that. Now you brought it to me, so.
Yeah.
On page 8. Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay. Yeah, I'm aware of it, but this is the only day I'm gonna be here. I don't really plan on coming back tomorrow. That's how I.
Well, I mean, if you
that's how
choose
I
to stay
am.
overnight or something, the
Yeah.
park down there is a great place to sleep. And bathrooms and stuff.
I only use the library once in some places and take off. Sometimes I only use it for an hour. And there's some libraries I'm in and out. Like
How long have you been traveling for?
9 years. So this is
9 years?
9 years in that car. Yeah, I've been doing this a long time. So
9 years.
I've changed my habits.
Wow.
I've changed my habits a little bit in the traveling phase, and I get disrupted in my travels, like with the arrest in Natchitoches.
Being in jail,
I spent 2 years, 2 months just learning Louisiana law. It's Napoleonic law. I know a lot about Louisiana, but I get disrupted, by being thrown in jail, and I spent 20 some days, and luckily I found a friend. Because my channel's growing on YouTube, I find more friends. And I was able to find after the arrest, found a friend that hid my car for me for the 20 days I was in
How
jail.
did you start this trek? What made you start it?
It started out with a library incident in Rice Lake, Wisconsin. Another library. It was over the air freshener. They were using this this spray that was affecting my head. That I'm sensitive to chemicals, and I complained about it. So they called the cops, and then they kicked me out for one day. That's it. And I got so angry, I never went back to that library. And then I was complaining online, and so the cops got more involved. It became more personal, and it's all online. It's still.
Anyway, why would you complain online and bring the police?
They brought the police. Yeah.
But why would that bring the police?
I didn't make any threats. No, there was nothing to arrest me for.
Right.
No, it was just me complaining about the city, and eventually, yeah, my car was getting tagged like I was getting parking violations. Two parking violations. Went to the court to dispute, and I left in the middle of winter, like January 1st. I was like, that's it, and it was like what, 15 degrees. It was cold. It was a smart time to get out of there anyway.
Yeah, I'd head south.
And so I went straight to Washington. It was just a big 1,000-some-odd-mile trip. I mean, across, over ice and all that to get to Washington, and things started warming up. It was so cool. It was just to watch things warm up, and I was able to take the layers of clothing off. Because I was sleeping in down to negative 15-degree weather.
In your car?
In my car, yeah. I know how to sew. So I was making things. I thought I took it as a challenge to see if I could sleep without any added heat, just clothing in the deep winter, and it's practically impossible. It's not easy. I was suffering no matter what I was putting on. It's just I wasn't able to keep myself warm enough at night. It's
15 degrees.
If negative 15 degrees.
Negative 15.
I slept out in negative 15 degrees. My feet felt like ice blocks. I had to really shake them up and get the blood flowing back.
And you choose to do this.
Well, it's a challenge.
It's a challenge.
There's certain challenges, that.
But the old.
I welcome.
So the trek started in Wisconsin.
Yeah, back in 2013.
What made you decide just to travel around?
And then I continued because I'm like, okay, if I have problems in one city, where from me sitting there too long, things just develop. The cops will check me out more, and then wondering why I'm not moving around, why I'm just kind of hanging out like a bum. I just decided, okay, I actually had, there's a lot to it, I guess. I thought I had a place to go live in Washington, and it's like a alcohol rehabilitation place out in the forested area. There is people are living in trailers trying to recover from addiction. I don't have any addiction. I found this online, and it's like, okay, maybe I'll do that. And then when I got there, I was just like, I don't know. I just wanted to check other places out. And
but you've been alone for 9 years.
Alone?
I mean,
well,
traveling by yourself.
Yeah, by myself.
Not by yourself.
But it's the thing is, the internet kind of makes me feel not alone. That's the thing. I'm communicating with people online. I don't have a phone, but just chatting with people. It's a connection that's satisfying to me. Just to be able to chat online at the very least has a satisfaction. But my standards for interaction are. My sensitivity to close contact. I have a high sensitivity to. I don't like being in very close contact with people. I'm kind of sensitive to that. So I don't want to be too much a part of other people's lives. I think I.
Have you always been like that though?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, kind of a smaller town guy in Wisconsin. I mean. We were dealing with this cold winters, and I was poor, and we just dealt with the winters almost like being in jail. Just
I can imagine.
Yeah, in Missouri, yeah. You guys, have you ever walked on a frozen lake?
Yeah.
Oh, you have? Oh, you've okay. Yeah, like that.
I grew up in Jersey, so.
Oh, that's
Jersey,
further north, yeah.
It freezes up there, not 15 degrees below.
Yeah, like extreme. But yeah, I don't think the lakes freeze enough for people to walk on them in Missouri.
Not since I've been here.
Yeah, but that's that extreme cold, and it's like and it's empowering to me. I wanna just not have to rely on other people, and I
admire that. It's interesting to me because it feels to me it feels like a lonely existence.
Yep, it is. Yeah, I guess you could call it that.
I'm not judging you for me. It would be.
And because you have a wife, you have kids kid.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I mean, at points I guess there would be points, maybe where the loneliness would hit. I guess maybe when I'm out in the more of a countryside area and yeah.
So how do you deal with that then?
Like maybe it could cause mental issues or something.
But when you feel that loneliness come over you, how do you readjust from that?
I don't know. I just watch YouTube videos and I'm
gonna have to really look into this YouTube thing because
maybe
you make it sound interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess I've been living under a rock or something.
The electronic communication. We got 2 minutes. The electronic communication. The electronic communication has been very satisfying to me. I don't know. If before the internet. Oh, it's been sitting like this. Before the internet, yeah, loneliness probably would be more of a factor, I think. But now with the internet, there's a satisfaction there for me, and I think a lot of other people too. It's just whoops, that's the wrong one.
I guess you always need. I mean, as human beings, we need some kind of interaction with other people, but you find yours. Electronic media.
I throw and I mean, like for like women and stuff. I've thrown away opportunities, I think I reflect on that in sadness with some women that I would have liked to have had closer.
You're still young enough, Jotz.
What's that?
You're still young enough.
40. I'm 46, so.
I'd love to be 46.
Yeah. All right. So you see that as younger.
Yes.
I guess it's not too
12
late.
years younger.
There's a lot of factors involved. There's a lot on the plate.
I know, but you're an engaging, interesting person, so
yeah,
you have things to offer. You're being selfish by not sharing. I'm not saying with me. I mean, with another person.
We can't. Yeah, there's skills that some people have had more opportunities to apply. People have had more opportunities to apply their skills than others. So. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I went to college. I mean, I have
military.
Yeah, I was in the military. I got a college degree in business. So
business, really.
And didn't do too much with that. I got that degree. That was hard work. But I don't know. This thing is still on.
What is that?
What do I got? Oh, I touched it. Oh, I got 1 hour 20 minutes or something, but the battery's still alive.
What is that?
Oh, this is a GoPro.
I don't know what that is.
You wanna? I don't know how much time you got. I could show you how I recorded the last cop interaction on my car.
No, mine.
Yeah, I'm willing to show it. At this, you do have your police cruiser here, at the very least.
I got everything. I got everything I need in there. I just didn't, trying to be casual.
See, I was kind of, I mean, you have a different cruiser from what the other patrol units have, because I thought I saw a car.
Yeah, there's a couple of them downtown.
But, okay, sure.
Hey, sweetie.
Okay, so you.
Can I call you right back? I need to talk to somebody.
All right. So, what I do is.
Holy cow! You really do live in here.
Yeah, it's a mess. Whenever a cop, now this has been the past few interactions. Whenever a cop stops at my car, this is a 360 camera. You can see there's cameras on both sides, and And now, like, even if I was pulled over, I've never had a pullover, but I would just instantly put this on top of the car so I capture everything going on. And this has been something the cops have trained me with, because when I record by hand and they want to put me in handcuffs,
Right.
I'm at a loss. I want to continue. I want to continue documenting the situation. And a lot of times I would wear this.
Are those things expensive?
Yeah, 400, maybe 450 or so.
Serious?
So
wow.
YouTube has paid for it. The cops. That's the thing. The cops have kind of paid for this.
Really?
Because
it makes it kind of ironic, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like when I get interactions. Yeah, the people want to watch, and so that helps me pay for other stuff. Because I just started out with a little like iPod, little cheap camera thing. And then
So is it Daily Roamer? Is that your YouTube?
Oh yeah, this is for driving. I record the drives.
Oh, okay.
So
you have more than one channel?
Yep. Yeah, I got Life in a Car with Travis, and then I got Daily Roamer, and then the Let's Exchange IDs with Travis.
So and you've been doing this for 9 years.
Well, I mean, it developed into this over the course of 9 years. It just was only like the traveling channel, one channel, and then I only have 49,000 subscribers on the.
Only?
That's not a lot, really. I don't think.
Like 50,000 people?
Yeah, like 50. It's like a city.
Yeah, that's a lot of people, Travis.
And these are concentrated for the cop channel. These are concentrated people who take a lot of interest in cop issues too. Wow. So, yeah, it's not just common people. These are people who are specifically interested in police issues.
Right.
So when I get arrested and post that video, or people just see that I haven't posted in a while, they start asking questions.
If you've been arrested or something?
Yeah.
Where's Travis?
They'll start wondering what's going on and talking and asking the city that I was in.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's why city judge in Natchitoches, he was a little annoyed with me because of the followers and how they react. This is it's almost 50,000 people he's dealing with.
Yeah, so you just think if 10% of them made complaints,
yeah,
you're talking 5,000 people.
Yeah, you're talking a lot. You understand how that
wow.
how that works. And okay, I'll tell you, in Bethany, Missouri, in the same state, apparently then I had slightly fewer subscribers. This was last year about November, and I posted the video. They started calling in, and apparently it shut down the phone system. So yeah, I'm gonna fart here. That's some gas. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if that would have led to the charge being dropped in 1.5 days. I don't know how much of an influence these callers made on that.
Sounds like they did.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because in Missouri they could. Okay.
I think anywhere, Travis, that would really have an influence. People
okay.
calling up and just,
that many.
Pummeling the public officials, saying, "Hey, why are you doing this to this guy?"
Because okay, the prosecutor could either just drop it and just try to make a political. It almost seems like a political move, or dig in deeper and say, and
yeah, but
go through.
At what expense? You got that many followers. You got that many people calling.
Yeah.
He's looking at the big picture. What is the benefit to the city for this?
Well, okay.
I don't know.
You kind of
financially, it doesn't make any sense for them to do that, because if you have that many followers, then there's going to be money behind that, and to fight this.
Yeah, that's how I was able to raise almost $20,000 for my appeal process in Natchitoches. But they have dug in Natchitoches with my situation. They've convicted me, and now I'm fighting.
Well, now they don't want to come up with wrong.
Yeah, people have said that. Yeah, it's a protection against lawsuits. They want to like, they got me convicted. How can I sue them because I was convicted of this? Yeah.
That's why it was smart to leave some of your things over your head, so you can have this.
Okay.
That's very
You see that as a good city.
The city trying to protect itself and is worried about consumers.
Yeah. Okay. Like if this happened in this city, you would look at you would see that you'd have to weigh the options. but it'd be best to just try to go forward and maybe make up some lies or something to get this guy convicted so that the town can't be sued. I don't know.
Regardless, it took 20 days of your life.
Yeah, that was horrible. Yeah. I was.
It's a wrongful conviction, and you have to be compensated for it. So how much?
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about it.
I sat in one of the dorms. There was a 40-man dorm, and I was the only white guy in there. I mean, I didn't realize it until somebody told me that either. But they were okay. They seemed okay. They get loud. They get really loud in that dorm. But yeah, I stood out in that jail. There's a large black population.
Did you want to go to Louisiana, or did you just find yourself trekking down that way, or was there something down there that you were looking for?
I wanted to go to the Gulf Coast and look a little bit at New Orleans. Not really. I didn't need to go into the center of it all. I just get a taste of it from the outside. Bicycle around. I like to every so often just get out and exercise around the city. And once that arrest in Natchitoches happened, I changed my focus from traveling into fighting this, and making this as public as I'm able to. And I make it public because it helps me learn too.
Yes, like you said before, other people learn also.
Yeah, and
I wish more people would, like I told you.
Yeah.
I wish more people would know their rights.
Yeah, in discussing it, I mean, people bring ideas that I never think of too. It's a back and forth. I mean, there's some crazy people who want to talk about the sovereign citizen stuff, but I know what that is, so I just kind of ignore it, or I'll argue with them a little bit about who's the victim in the case or jurisdiction. A lot of them like to tell me to challenge the jurisdiction of the courts.
Or like you said, like who's the victim? Like you get the speeding ticket. Well, who's the victim here? You know, because crimes are supposed to protect people. Who's the victim if I'm speeding down the road? Right?
Yeah.
And I understand their argument. I also understand the other side of protecting other people on the roadway. So there's got to be a balance, because we agreed to live in a society. There has to be some balance. We have to find agreements, and we seem to be fragmenting in so many different directions now. We don't seem to be trying to find agreement. We seem to be trying to find disagreement.
And on the internet, there's camps too. There's extremist camps. So it's hard to find a group type of group, like a Facebook group. It's hard to find a Facebook group or a Reddit. So you probably don't know Reddit, but that's in the middle grounds. There's tension. There could be a lot of tension. There's no middle grounds. There's people who choose the extremist groups, pro-police, totally anti-police.
And those are always the loudest. Those two groups are always the loudest. And people in the middle that just want to live their lives and just and live in a calm society and be able to go to work and be free.
Yeah.
Those are the people that we want to hear from, but they're the ones that are too busy living their lives.
They're not. Yeah, there's nothing for them to speak up about.
Right, because they just want to live their lives and be left alone.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot. Communication has gotten so much easier. I mean, people can now call saying I'm staring at somebody and making them feel uncomfortable. If this was in the 80s, they would have to run home, get on the phone,
and then rotary dial phone.
Yeah, and then a rotary phone. But now it's a one-touch button on the cell phone, and it's so much easier to make these simple, these non-criminal issue calls, and even who's a cop to judge if it's a good or bad day? The cop, it's probably a good measure for the cop to still show up, not totally ignore.
It's a request, but how do I judge that? I judge a cop can't.
Yeah.
He looked at me and made me feel uncomfortable. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah.
How do you articulate that?
Would you just? I mean, it's a hard question to answer. It depends on how busy you are and stuff. I mean, is it something that you need to respond? You feel like in your policy it's required that you should respond to, at least just to see the situation, maybe, or is it something that you wouldn't argue with the person on the phone about their complaint.
No.
The dispatch would, yeah.
As far as making contact with the person who's looking at them, you can up and say hi.
Yeah.
Potential encounter we're talking about earlier.
Yeah, like you're doing it. It's just a simple. Mine's almost like I'm looking at this situation's almost like me the call with me staring at them people. This is that level, but you show up. But I mean, you with you in comparison to this other cop, you weren't demanding my ID, and I kind of had to diffuse that with him. I asked who the caller was, and he's like, I'm not going to tell you who the caller is. And I'm like, oh, what law protects the caller from me knowing their name? And I'm like, is it the Fourth Amendment? And I was like, who else does the Fourth Amendment protect?
Very clever, I like that.
Yeah, and then he's like, he said you. But this wouldn't have happened in Louisiana. They would have just arrested me right away. It wouldn't even have gotten to that point. They would have been like, oh, you're not showing ID? Okay, you're under arrest. Let's take you to jail.
This is what he's saying. Told by 30 years ago, I tell my clients, he said, he needs a ride.
Oh, I heard it. Yo, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I can make the ride now entertaining thanks to YouTube.
Exactly.
And
make money off it.
And make money, yeah. You see how there's a little movement coming. It's not gonna make me rich, but it pays for my gas.
Yeah, and it's not. And what I love about it, what you tell me about it, and stuff with you, it sounds like a freedom movement.
Yep.
Know your rights, know what you can do.
Yeah.
Do not be bullied by the government, which is, police officers are the most visible form of government. What the most contact people have with government.
Yep.
And so that's fantastic.
And I don't like the he said, she said. They're trying to work around when you're not recording now. Yeah, the cameras give a sense of empowerment because it can't be they can't deny what they said if it's already been recorded on camera.
Yep.
So we can stand our ground.
And it's not just your word. It's you have the video evidence to prove it.
I can make a transcript out of it. There's oh, you said this and that. So it's something that's documentation has gotten a lot better on this.
It's much better than a person's memory because you have everything.
Yep.
People forget what to say, what was done, and how it looked.
Yeah, and a lot of people are sitting in jail right now based on faulty memories. There's yeah, and it's the thing. I try to encourage people in Louisiana. They turn to guns a lot, but I'm like, why not cameras? Let's point cameras at each other. And I talked to a guy that helped me hide my car. He's facing a criminal issue where he's caught on the dash cam pulling a gun, like an AR-15, and aiming it right at the cop. Because he got out of his car because he stopped, and the cop apparently was following him, and he got uncomfortable with the following going around some buildings or something, so he stopped.
Did he know it was a cop? Did it mark?
He claims he didn't know it was a cop, or I think the lights weren't turned on, something like that. But yeah, he pulled out his gun and aimed it a little bit, then put it down, got in his car, and drove off. The cop just backed up. No shots were fired, but he was later arrested, this guy. And I'm like, why not he wasn't thinking at the time, but why not a camera? And he's like, yeah, that would have been better. And he's still facing this criminal issue, so that's kind of how we became friends, is because we can relate to the criminal problems. And people seem to be a little on edge in Louisiana, just how the law enforcement is treating them, or something. How they're treating each other.
What areas do you think is Louisiana? You pointed out, but what other areas in the country do you think are tense right now?
Besides Louisiana?
You've been through Texas or Arizona?
Yeah, I've been through Texas. That's a different kind of tension. I mean, I've traveled the whole border, and I've gotten videos with the Border Patrol. So there's tension there. There's checkpoints about 30 miles into the country that I had to stop at, and one had like this burnt out shell of a car as I was approaching. I was going
One of
north.
the checkpoints.
Yeah, before the checkpoint, south of the checkpoint, there's this burnt out shell of a car. What I saw, I don't know what to think of that. Yeah, for tension, it's bad in Louisiana, but it's like spotty. It's like I want to, since we've been talking a while, I want to compare it to Lewis and Clark, their adventure from tribe when they moved from tribe to tribe. It's like one tribe tried to steal from them, another tribe would be generous and give them free food, and the next tribe would try to steal from them. It's like every other tribe, and I feel like that is the same way. I feel like that's the same way for cities too. Like there's every other city. It's like maybe in Natchitoches might be horrible, but the next city over might be pretty nice.
Right.
It's 10-mile difference, but it can make a big difference in how people are treating each other. Yeah, it really is. And I have no idea, no way to explain. You could have been a horrible chief. You could have been a real. Well,
what sets the tone or the tenor in that community? Some are mad. Others
yeah, and I think they just want to separate. They kind of want to have their own personalities. Maybe they see, well, this guy's bad, so I'm going to be the nice guy type of thing. Maybe in some ways. But yeah, every town's going to have some kind of cop caller, some type of person who's calling the cops almost every day.
Are you writing a journal on this?
No, it's just all video. It's all video.
9 years. Have you done a journal?
Well, I mean, I write in the descriptions of the videos. I write in WordPress. I write on Twitter. Just short observations. People have said that, but I'm not. I've tried to. I wanted to talk about like magnet therapy, right? About or something, personal, but I get stopped after the first.
I know, but I think more people are interested in your perception of different communities, where you see how you see anger in one, and the next one you don't, and try to spend time kind of
the Lewis. Read the Lewis and Clark diaries. That was fun. I read it from beginning to end. So
I never even looked at that. I'm reading Marcus Aurelius right now.
Okay.
So
there's spot. There's.
I love reading, so I'll look into it.
Yeah, it's just journals. There's almost every day they're writing in their journals of their personal experiences, both Lewis and Clark, but also some of the party members had their own journals I never even read. But you learn that there's a lot of thieves in the Indian tribes. I don't mean to.
No, hunger will make people steal.
Hunger too, yeah. There's that too. There's situations like some Indian tribes would oppress the other Indian tribes, and have these outcast Indian tribes would be suffering in the wilds.
And we're really no different since today, are we?
It is. I don't think it's that much different. We're still in the same America, and
we have a few more luxuries, but people are still just as cruel to each other, I think.
Yeah.
Take advantage of the press and take from and take advantage of.
Yeah.
Each other.
Yeah. There's a book called something about we're trying to griftopia. Somebody's perspective is that the communities are becoming grifting off of each other, because you can wave at everybody.
Well, I've been here a while. I know everybody.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. I can wave at people who know me on the internet, but
well, you got 50,000 people who know you.
But
in
a town that's different. Like I can go on the live chat and get a few hundred people just instantly. If I got on a live chat, just start talking, it'd just be instant. Get a couple hundred people just to talk to, and we'd discuss things or whatever. It requires internet. I need without the technology, it's lost for me. I'm reliant on that. Whereas you could go maybe house to house, and
I could talk to one person while you're talking to 200.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it's on the internet though. It's the thing. It's there's a different medium there, a different way of making the contact. Yeah. So yeah, there's whatever. I don't know. I showed you my camera setup.
I can't believe how expensive they are. Oof.
Yeah, it's not cheap, that's for sure. The 360. This is a new thing. I'm really having fun with cops, because I don't point my camera by hands effectively enough. So this I can just zero in on a person's face, and then people could get familiar with the cop's facial expressions.
Right.
That's what the people want to see, is like when this is a tense moment. When cops are called to me, this is a tense moment, and people pay close attention to every little detail. Where's the cop's hands?
Right.
What's his facial expression? What's his body position? Where are they standing? You know.
Well, and you must know this. Most communication is nonverbal.
There's a lot of nonverbal. That's right. Yeah, and that's something that people want to pay close. But I'll say that I asked in a poll, because I can run polls with all these people.
Yeah.
And then I get a really good idea of the group think. But it's for my group of people.
Right.
What's more important, video or audio? And most people said the audio is most important. Being able to hear what's being said is more important than seeing what's going on. So if I have a bad video, at least if I can get good audio, then that's more important than anything anyway. So yeah, I'll use sometimes. I got spy cams. You ever see spy cams?
No.
Hey, let me show you. I got a little pen spy cam.
It's an actual pen?
Hey, look at this. Where do you think the camera is on that thing? Yeah,
That is amazing.
Somebody gave that to me, and yeah.
It worked pretty well?
Yep. Yeah, I did a pretty good. I made a pretty neat little video. It's on my channel, and then I just got this. I never really used this thing, but you can just put it in your pocket. But this little thing, good audio and somewhat good video.
Really?
Yeah. So that's a new venture for me. So you may not even. And do you know the law about recording? Like, do you know if it's a one-party or two-party consent?
Here in Missouri, it's one party.
It's one party? Okay. Yeah. And I usually assume the state.
Anything in public, or a public official like me,
yep.
you can record anytime.
Yep.
We have no expectation of privacy. The same as you have no expectation of privacy around me.
Yeah, you could be. Well, you don't look like you have any camera equipment on you. So, yeah, this is
That's amazing.
This is the next. This is a different level for recording for me, because
we'd never even think that's a camera.
There's such.
You had that in your pocket.
Yeah, I could just be holding it too, and looking like I'm writing, and just recording. So
how do you turn it on?
It's this little button on top. You hold it, and see, the thing is, I prefer these GoPros. It's a one-touch, but it's a little visible.
What's the recording time or something like that?
This is an hour. So I'm not trying to be super sneaky. I want the camera to be on me. All right. I don't want to be trying to listen in on conversations, because that's when you get into legal issues. I want it to be like, if somebody's giving me a hard time, I want to let them continue to do that. But if I can record it and then document it, there's people out there like that. There's bullies out there.
Of course. Everywhere you go.
And I want to help the bullies become more popular, if I can. I want
expose them for who they are.
Yeah, it's something that's is interesting to me. You probably wouldn't know this. you've probably been a part of the search warrant process. I like to go to courthouses and ask to see the search warrants that were executed.
Right.
There's some courthouses that their clerk of courts they'll have search warrants. One courthouse had search warrants like right on their desk. You could just flip through them and see what they search and all that. Not all courthouses have that. I don't know if you've ever.
I don't know how they do it up in Texas County Court.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's like that, like you're speaking of, if you have a request directly from the court clerk.
Yeah, I like to go through a process of presenting that to my audience about me looking into the search, how the search warrants are presented at other courts. Most courts don't allow it. Search warrants are very interesting. I'm just I'm rambling on about I just there's a lot with the legal process that's fascinating and
it's very interesting. That's why cop shows do so well.
Yep.
Lawyer shows, cop shows, doctor shows.
There's lawyers. 5 years ago, lawyers would only talk about the process, and now lawyers are showing how they're doing the process themselves. They're making themselves into, some lawyers are making themselves into YouTube stars.
Really?
A little bit. Yeah, they're moved. Some have moved away from just saying, oh, this is how a court process goes, and it's really dry information, to now being more personal about their process. And cops are even coming on to YouTube and talking about their experiences a little bit more. It's something that it's taken a while for people to open up about, but
or then
now
you
that
get dinosaurs like me that don't even really know.
Yeah,
about
and you're just you're really out of the loop,
I guess so.
not knowing about First Amendment audit stuff. It's
kind of embarrassing.
I guess I'm here. Yeah, I'm
You're educating me.
I'm giving you a heads up here on the situation, just on what's happening outside of the
small town America here.
The realm of your control. Yeah, I mean I people may not use the internet that much here because I can't even, my hotspot doesn't even work. It says no service, right? So probably continue to say that. I got this little hot, give it a minute. This little hot spot.
Because she has Wi-Fi there.
Oh, I should probably check that. Yeah.
People park there. Unless she shut it down for some reason. We're parking there.
Yeah. Video World 2.
Yeah. Some people used to rent videos. Everybody gets everything.
Yeah, and then yeah, there's no. Okay, there might be. In the last video, not West Plains.
The one in Mountain View.
Mountain View, yeah. The library was giving away the videotapes, and right in the when you walk in, they're giving away videotapes.
Like old video movies and stuff.
Yeah. Look at that. No service. Can you see that? Yeah. No service here. I haven't had this long. This is the first time.
Well, just maybe try down the Sinclair station right down here. Maybe she shut hers down.
Yeah, I think she did because I did try it earlier. There's nothing. So yeah, there's some libraries. There's one library. I think it's Springfield, Missouri. I don't know if you've ever been to Springfield.
Oh yeah, it's about 2 hours here. 2 hours west.
Actually, no, I'm sorry. It might have been another. They actually still rent out the videotapes.
Really?
That's one of the few. That's like the only one.
Nobody even has a VCR anymore.
Yeah, who has a VCR? I don't even have a CD-ROM myself. I don't use CD-ROMs. I live off of these connections and these.
Oh.
These. I live off of these little things, and it's all solid state, drivers, SSD, solid. Not the CD-ROMs, nothing that spins. It's all solid states now. it's all mobile too. I mean, I used to have a desktop for a while. I mean, couldn't live in my car if I with a desktop. So this mobile technology has made me more mobile too.
It's freed you.
And I
so,
can.
What's your? Do you have a plan?
Nope, no plan.
So it could be another 9 years you're on the road.
Could be, yeah. I mean,
really?
I haven't seen the east half of the country, and this is getting good because there's the civil. This is a civil war area.
Yeah.
So I'm learning more about that. You don't see that in the West. There's a lot more to see that I want to check out, and a lot of it comes as a surprise. This grist mill came as a surprise.
How'd you even know that was there?
I saw it on Google Maps.
Oh, okay.
For one. And then, so I walked over, and then I saw it said call or have the library call or something. So the guy showed up right away. So there's those situations. I've showed up at museums when they're closed, but there was somebody there, and they're like, "Oh, come on in, I'll give you a tour."
Really?
They're just small towns. Yeah, and that motivates me to visit the free museums. I tend not to like paying, so I'll avoid those ones that cost. Because in a lot of ways I see the same stuff in the free ones. It's just the free ones have the limited hours or whatever. But yeah, just traveling to see different pieces of history.
So how do you pick which direction you're going? What's next?
Okay, yeah, the seasons.
So that's what drives you most.
Yeah, it's getting hot now, so I want to go north, and then it'll start freezing, so I want to come back down south. But definitely avoiding Louisiana as much as I can. I'll probably still have to go back for a court date in some way. But yeah, and then I get stopped when I get legal issues, when I have, like in Williston, North Dakota, I spent months learning North Dakota law. So I know a lot of North Dakota law and a lot of Louisiana law.
You gotta pick a state and then get your law degree.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be smart enough for that. I'm only focusing on the criminal, and you have to know all this other stuff.
You can do it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The person. Yeah. Maybe.
You've already got your business degree.
And some people could maybe get multiple states or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Once you get one.
I got helpers who have different levels of legal education. One guy went 3 years and then quit for some odd reason.
So close.
But he's still like, he's a work dog. He's really involved. He was involved with my case by you start out by writing a request for discovery of evidence. We got that in right away, faster than I would have. I know how to write them. They're kind of standard. But then also the bill of particulars. I never really knew about that, but he wrote that for me, and I'm like, okay, let's submit that too, and then a motion to dismiss case, motion to suppress evidence. He was just pumping these things out and telling me I had to submit them on my own because I was pro se, and I'm like, sure, let's do this. And then various other motions, and then the prosecutor was responding to all this, and they weren't happy about it. But I mean, I was happy to do it. This is all stuff that led up to my 30 days in jail. But I mean, still, it's a standard. This is about the standard part of the process that any lawyer would do, and I do that paperwork part at least. If I'm gonna get arrested, I'm gonna take it to the limits with my defense, especially when it's a constitutional issue.
Yes.
When it's an issue I'm getting arrested over my ID, I'm gonna fight this tooth and nail.
Because you're not just fighting for yourself, you're fighting for the next person.
Yeah. It's not like I'm defending myself against a burglary, something that people don't really get behind, or a murder that people don't get behind. There's certain crimes, certain accusations, but they definitely can get behind the constitutional issues. And yeah,
isn't it amazing, all the law stuff you've been going through? Isn't it amazing how you read our Constitution, and the Bill of Rights, and how simple it's easy to understand.
Yeah.
But then you go into laws. It doesn't matter what law it is, and it's so twisted. You got to.
Yeah.
I think they purposely write them like that, so you have to hire a lawyer. So you have to be a lawyer to understand it.
Yeah.
Instead of making it simple, like the law of the land is anybody can pretty much with a high school education understand what that means.
Mm-hmm.
But you get into the law books and start talking about whether it's a speed violation or a murder.
Yeah.
It's so twisted.
And what they're pushing with the ID thing is that telling your name doesn't violate your personal privacy. So there's that issue. Just cops can come up to you randomly and just demand your name, and that's not in courts. I think it ruled that it's not a privacy issue. So there's little pushes to get around the law, because if you don't push back, they're going to keep pushing you more and more.
Yeah, like we said earlier, and you eventually lose all your rights.
Yeah, so I'm taking a stand early on, as early as I can, on the street. I made a comment about how I feel like you don't really get a fair. I didn't get fair justice in court, so it's like the cops tell you to take it to court, but it doesn't always end up in a just solution. Like on the city court level, for the city in Natchitoches, it seemed like it's just more about trying to generate revenue, like people have mentioned. But I didn't see, like, for my habits, I didn't see what I needed to change. What like, if we were going to get some justification out of this, what do I need to change about myself to make the court to go forward, so we all can interact in a civil way, not have cops jump on me. And also with my ID issue, this is a one-time charge, because once they know who I am, they can't charge me again for
the same thing.
It's a one-time charge.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, some people can make the argument, well, we talked last month, you know who I am, what do I need to give you my ID again for? You'd have a defense if it's a stranger law. They could pick on strangers over this failure to ID thing, and it turns into well, I'm just throwing things out. It seems like they're doing a culture enforcement more than a law enforcement in Louisiana when they push these sensitive issues about the ID law and stuff. They're saying that my conduct is not acceptable enough, so they have to impose themselves with their color, with their authority. And I think if there's somebody of a different culture, maybe doesn't even speak the same language, they could impose their enforcement on them.
I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, it's a concept I think about. Nobody else really talks about with me. I just kind of throw it out there with people, but they don't have responses.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't.
Yeah, that's fine. I argue that it's culture, that they're practicing culture enforcement more than law enforcement. That's just something I've made up.
I have to think about that.
Yeah, there's different cultures out there, and the Constitution is there to help protect the groups from overstepping each other's culture, and trying to find a middle ground. The law, if culture it becomes into conflict too much, then the law should step in and try to sort it out on a legal nature. But if somebody doesn't like how somebody else looks, using or how they dress, right, or their mannerisms, or whatever they practice for religion, that culture is. I think Louisiana has lowered their standards of arrest so much. It's almost like they're enforcing a culture more than the law. But I mean, these are thoughts of my own. That I try to share.
I'm not dismissing them. I'm just trying to process it.
Yeah, it's.
I never thought about it in that direction before.
It's
aspect.
There's there's standards there with but Missouri is is the contentious state. Louisiana is ground in a particular culture, and they're really strong in their ways. And Missouri during the Civil War, it's like almost like half the state was fighting the other.
Yes.
So there's a contentiousness there, and so they respect each other a little bit more because they have almost equally opposing groups fighting. But that didn't happen in Louisiana. It was a deep South in ground in its ways, its culture. So they take their extremist approaches. I don't know if you heard about the latest in the abortion and how, I don't know, there's protesters in front of a federal judge's house.
Oh yeah, Kavanaugh.
And Louisiana came out with this news bit that they'll say that even like a week, if a woman is pregnant for a week and she tries to kill the baby, that's murder. A woman could be charged for murder if she tries to even kill a fertilized egg, practically. It's something like that. They're taking such a strong approach. That's Louisiana. They want to separate themselves, from other states, and there's a lot going on down there that I still have to be aware of because I got problems down there.
There's a lot going on all over this nation.
That's true. So I'm just rambling on though.
Well, I'll let you go, Travis.
Okay, yeah. It's nice talking. Oh, good to do a fist bump.
All right, brother.
So nice talking with you.
If you need something,
your police station is down the street.
It's right there.
It's visible.
Well, you see where that blue pickup is?
Yeah.
It's just a building just to the right of that.
Okay.
That's where we're at City Hall.
All right. Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So good talking with you.
Nice talking to you.
Yep.
I appreciate you taking the time. Thank you.
Yeah. It's nice.